Hello, and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, episode 125.
I'm here again!
Is it?
Yes.
It's one.
This is Chris, and joining me today are...
James! Caitlin.
Jake? I thought Chris was... James Rossi, hi.
Chris already went.
Oh, I wasn't
He went,
paying attention.
hello, my name
James,
is
you were
Chris.
just here 2 weeks ago.
I was here
That's
2 weeks
insane
ago.
that you came back to record with us after a 1 week break.
I know, right?
That's crazy.
It's
You
wild.
must really have no life.
So you have no
I don't.
context.
It's very accurate.
You don't know about all the awesome jokes we did last week.
Oh, then there was that
I
one. That was
don't.
Oh,
that
man.
was the best.
That was a good joke.
All right,
So
we still have
first
the
up,
clock, so.
This week,
Yarr.
we are looking at both parts of Birthright.
Yay.
In Birthright,
A lot of
Yup, exactly.
shit
I feel
happened.
like this
that sums it
episode
up
is
really well.
a lot easier to break it up into the stuff that
Well, yeah,
happens to Data and then the stuff that happens
So yeah,
to Worf.
basically, the producers were like, hey, we want to help promote Deep Space Nine. So Julian Bashir breaks into sickbay to play with a toy, and Data stops by and is like, who the
Don't
fuck
call
are you?
Data that.
Data's all, who the fuck are you? And Bashir's all like, I'm a main character from the new series. And they're like, great. And they play with his toy in engineering instead of in sickbay, and it shoots Data, and basically it activates his dreaming subroutine. Meanwhile, Mr. Worf meets James Cromwell. And
I would not have recognized James Cromwell.
Wait, who was James Cromwell?
the alien that looked like a testicle?
The wrinkly alien.
Yeah.
He was the guy the guy that took Worf.
Oh, God. For a second, I was thinking of the Klingons, and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Man,
no, that makes
that's the
way
thing. I was
more
sitting there and I was
sense.
like, I know that voice. So I Googled it. I was like, oh fuck, it's Jimmy Cromwell.
Yeah, I had no fucking
So
idea.
yeah, Jimmy Cromwell is like, I have weird accents sometimes, and other times not really.
And
but
sometimes, that'll do, pig.
yeah. So I sell you information, and Worf is like, or you just give it to me, or I fucking kill you in front of all these people who are just gonna watch. And he's like, okay. He's like, your father, he's alive on Romulan prison camp. And Worf is all like, that is dishonorable nonsense bullshit. You take me to this camp, and he goes to the camp, and he becomes a peeping Ta'am.
Ta'am?
I think it's probably
that's
the Klingon
Klingon
version of
for
Tom.
Tom.
I get it.
And
I
he's
got
like,
it, Chris.
hello, young lady, I am here to rescue you. And she's like, what's going on? He's like, don't tell them you saw me. And she's like, this is weird and upsetting. And then, Worf breaks into the camp, and what it turns out is it was a prison camp. It still kind of is, but basically what happened is, like...
Moog isn't there.
Moog isn't there, yeah, first of all. That part of James Cromwell's information was wrong.
I have thoughts.
Caitlin has thoughts.
Sometimes.
Wow.
Jeez.
So basically what it turns out is, yes, these Klingons were taken captive, and the Romulans were like, we have your people. And the Klingons were like, we refuse to acknowledge that any of our people were taken captive by fucking Romulans. And then the Romulans become friends with the Klingons, and the Romulans are like, what are we gonna fucking do about this? And they
Let's
go to the...
bang them.
Yeah, they go to their high command, like, so what do we do? And they're like, we don't fucking care. And he's like, well, I'm gonna step down from the military and just kind of run this camp in like a friendly way. And they're like, whatever the fuck you want, you weird fucker. So they're just kind of a weird little village, and they use like spears as tilling things, and they use some sort of game as a different game. And this gets all up in Worf's Catholic ass.
And the war song becomes a lullaby.
He becomes a lullaby.
Yeah.
And so they're like, look, Worf, we're not going to kill you, but you gotta, stay here. And it's going to be chill, though. We're all chill. But Worf can't help himself and starts proselytizing. And finally awakens the Klingon-ness of the young Klingons. And the Romulan guy's like, you ruined everything, now I gotta kill you.
I had a happy life.
And the young people are like, no, if you kill Worf, you have to kill me. And
Rudy.
it's
I'm Spartacus.
like, yeah.
Rudy.
So they're like, you know what? We were just, the old Klingons like, we did this so to not dishonor our families back on Kronos. But now we're making our new families sad. So the old people are going to stay behind and be old people swingers, while the young Klingons return to the universe, but pretend like they're from somewhere else.
Some of them are Klingon/Romulans.
At least one, yes, is in fact a Klingon-Romulan hybrid.
Worf puts his face on her face.
Yep, his racism is strong. And that's basically the episode.
Yeah.
Super good.
And James Cromwell never gets paid.
No, nor does he appear in the second episode, even though he's in the opening credits.
I haven't known about that.
Ah, thank you. I hope you would.
I also have a note about that. It's probably the same. Now.
Yeah, if we both read Memory Alpha, then we have
So-
the same
really
note.
good.
I'll let you say
No,
the note.
no, by all means.
Here is how I imagine this episode was created. Somebody wrote this Worf story.
Nope.
And was like, well, this is... You can tell me afterwards. Somebody,
I love
this
it.
is what
That
it
was so good.
This is what it feels like
Already wrong.
as an audience member, not looking... Like, this is how it probably would have felt to an audience member in 1992, or whatever the fuck this was.
93.
93, they didn't remember Alpha, whatever. But it feels like somebody basically was like, all right, I wrote this Worf episode. Okay. But it's like a little too long to be a one-parter, but too short to realistically stretch into a two-parter. And somebody else goes, well, I had this idea for a Data story. He learns to dream, but it really only works out to maybe 15, 20 minutes of stuff tops. And they're like, okay, let's just put them together. Peanut butter and chocolate. And then, a producer bursts into the room drunk off his ass with cocaine all over his face, being like, Deep Space Nine cameo! And Julian Bashir shows up.
It was loud as fuck,
I'm
dude.
sure the last part is right. The rest is close, because I know they were planning on having both this Romulan prison camp idea, and they were planning on finding a way to have Moog come back.
Oh, okay.
And I think originally they were supposed to actually have Moog come back and decided, oh god, no.
Guys, Moog was there.
Yeah? Do you think Elcor?
Yeah,
Elcor?
absolutely.
Lacor?
Elcor, isn't that the aren't
Yeah,
those
from
the
Mass
woolly
Effect.
mammoths from Mass Effect?
Yeah.
I don't know. You think he just said that he wasn't Moog to
I do.
save Worf?
I
from the
do think
embarrassment?
that. I totally think that. That's exactly what I think.
I don't.
And I'm so excited that you think so too, because
Yeah.
usually I have stupid ideas and nobody agrees.
No, I was
That's
I
not
was
true,
I
really.
was trying to.
We don't
kinda
agree with your
justify
good
it a little
ideas
more.
either.
It's true.
Just because I wasn't sure if potentially Moog recognized Worf as his own kid at first or not. But I definitely got the impression that, I mean, considering all the other stuff with people always ragging on Moog, he probably was kind of a weak dude, and so I wouldn't be too surprised.
But I don't understand. Wouldn't Worf have been like, "Oh yeah, you're Moog"?
Well, no, because how young was he the last time he saw him?
The photographs don't exist.
I don't.
He grew-
oh,
he aged.
I don't fucking know.
No,
dude.
after what 40 years or whatever.
18, I think.
I mean, here's the thing. First of all of
Since
Worf's
the
more than
Battle of
18.
Kittim?
all of Worf's
Wasn't Worf
ancestors.
5?
Yeah,
look
Worf was like a
exactly like
baby.
Michael Dorn.
That's true.
Oh, that's true.
So we know
Yeah,
that.
so then apparently his mother's family has the stronger lineage, and somehow he looks like his mama.
Actually, no, they say multiple times in the episode, Kidder was 25 years ago.
Oh, 25 years ago. What the fuck was 18 years ago?
I don't know.
So Worf must be what, 20, 25? Is he
30.
30-something?
He
Yeah,
was
if
at
Kidder
least
was
5.
Yeah, if Kidder was 25 years ago and he was a child.
Well, he would have been a young adult
During Kittimer?
in Klingon aging.
Oh, that's true. And Klingon
aging is weird.
Right, so that's the thing.
Because if you look at Alexander, he's
Alexander's
this tall
a
already.
3-year-old,
Yeah.
but he's
I just feel like...
easily played by a 9-year-old.
But when you say photographs don't exist, I would say, yeah, because didn't they, find him, in the wreckage of his home? That shit probably got destroyed, right?
But he was one of the great houses of
Yeah, but Klingons don't really
Photographs
play
are
nice.
not honorable.
And also, considering...
They steal your soul.
Here's something I want to offer, actually, as a suggestion, though, because I feel like Klingon society is, one of these really old-school ones, and I also feel like when, back in ancient times, not further back than the ancient West, a lot further back, but, when, a new emperor took over, they would destroy all the shit before them, so, maybe, oh, Moog dishonored us. There
Actually,
goes
yeah,
everything
that
about Moog.
Lines up pretty
That's what I
well.
feel like would probably be the case. First of all,
But they didn't think Moog had dishonored them until a couple of years ago.
well, maybe they just thought he was a little bitch. And they...
I mean, I would say that Klingons
don't
don't
know.
seem sentimental, so maybe they don't
Also,
carry
I don't know.
family
I don't
photos.
buy it because I don't think
They
Moog was
carry
there.
all
I think
kinds
it
of
would have been a
ancestral
way
shit,
more
though.
interesting episode if Moog had been there, and then Worf had to deal with being disillusioned that his father had turned puss on him.
Well,
I
yeah,
know.
but the whole thing was that the old elders were like, yeah, but we came here to, spare our children. So I think he just faked it. Maybe all of the Klingons took new names when they got to their new home.
It does seem weird that that's the one thing that was wrong with James Cromwell's information.
I know, here's where did he get the information that Moog was alive?
Yeah, it was mostly right.
Why would he give this to Worf? And granted, he was forced into
Maybe the
driving him
alien
there,
was Moog.
I mean, the alien. I mean, he just wanted to make a buck.
Yeah.
I think he knew that he knew who Worf was
Uh-huh.
He knew who-
because
but
Worf's
as-
pretty famous.
As an information dealer, you don't get paid for lies. Like,
yeah, but he could just be like, "Oh, it was a mistake, but I helped you rescue these Klingons at least."
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
I wonder because there was a lot of dropped stuff because the James Cromwell character Jagalong Shrek, great job, guys.
Oh yeah, Shrek.
He was meant to play a larger part in part 2, but
Okay.
James Cromwell, in between bouts of filming, broke his leg or some
Oh,
shit, and thus could not continue filming stuff.
Okay.
So they cut a whole bunch of stuff that his character would have done. Like, his character would have revealed that he used to be a prisoner himself. So I almost wonder if he just wanted the prisoners to be dealt with in some way. Also, his character would have died horribly, murdered by Klingons that he was trying to help
It
save.
would have made more sense if he was a Klingon then. Like the one that got away.
And he
I
was
don't know.
Moog.
That would be interesting too.
But yeah, I guess
yeah.
right now you just read it from the angle like he somehow found out about this camp.
He
It was
knew
like-
that they were Khitomer people.
Yeah, and he's like, all right,
He learned about Moog.
I add one lie to make it tempting to this asshole.
Why is he Russian?
Because every so often he had a Russian accent. for no
Hello.
reason. It would come and go.
Welcome to Alien Space Camp.
Yeah.
Your dad Moog over here.
So we should also at least briefly discuss the B plot.
I'd get that out of the way.
And like
Get it out of the way.
and we also
Unnecessary.
and, like, this
That's
is-
what I say.
This is great because it's the first time we have a crossover episode with another running show, and we get to see a fan favorite character,
Data? Yeah.
Morn.
Oh.
Yeah, we did,
Oh,
yes.
that's true. Was he a favorite by now?
He's been a favorite since day one. Everyone loves Morn.
All right.
I just,
We'll get there in a year.
I just wish he'd shut up a little and let some of the other actors talk. But well, whatever. In addition to Morn, we get the fans' least favorite character, Jillian Bashir.
He's cool later.
He eventually.
Yeah, he's such a whiny frat boy for a while.
Well, you know what he is. You know what he reminds me of. So there was a
He's still cute, but
a
annoying.
backdoor pilot TV movie produced in the mid '90s called White Dwarf. I might have mentioned this before.
I
on
think
the
you
Oh,
Yeah.
you have, yes.
And it's basically about this young doctor who goes to a far off planet and he's all wide eyed and
Bushy-tailed?
Yeah, and he's played by I can't remember the actor's name, but he later comes on and plays Lieutenant Hawk in First
Oh,
Contact.
shit.
Oh, okay,
Guy,
yeah,
okay,
that
yeah.
guy.
McDonough, I can't remember his first name. Anyway, anywho,
Neil, I think.
Neil, yeah, sounds right. He's got like this whole attitude about, ooh, I'm going to go do great things. And that's kind of what Julian Bashir reminds me of. Especially in
Yeah.
this episode where he's just like, I'm the young, cocky, smart man.
Pretty
and-
boy.
Young, cocky, smart man.
But yeah, Bashir in his alternate uniform.
Yeah, it was originally supposed to have Jadzia in this episode, but she was too busy with DS9.
Also, we never find out what his fucking contraption is.
I mean, that's the thing. Is like
He
it's
finds
a
a piece of
data
alien
zapper.
tech, plugs it into something
Yep.
in medbay, and he's like, "Oh, it's not powerful enough. Can we
Engineering.
hook it up to the warp core?"
yeah.
No, he starts. He
Oh,
starts.
they
in,
started in. Oh, that's right. He
he's-
was in medbay. Well, he's a
Yeah,
doctor.
he starts
knows
in
that
medbay,
stuff.
just plugging crap into it, and he's like, "I'm pretty sure this is a medical device. Let's plug it into the warp core."
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
What could possibly go
it
wrong?
definitely felt like
we know exactly. It's like the worst that could go wrong did. It shot a fucking laser and
There
it
are-
killed
Data should not have been standing right in front of
that
the
was
thing.
one of my
Oh
notes.
yeah,
you know what's
blame the victim.
How do you know what's
I
the
will.
front of an alien piece
Well,
of
that's
technology that's supposedly a medical
Because
equipment?
there's an orifice facing
Yeah,
you.
no, there was clearly a barrel, and he stood directly in front.
Yeah,
Wow,
Julie
you guys
Bashir
are awful.
found a gun and was like, maybe this is for administering metals. And so, like, started like
Because we're doing lead injections.
started like shooting people with it, being really confused why they're not getting better.
He seems like a really
Maybe
bad
we
dog.
have
He's
to
a
do
really
Yeah, no,
bad
this is
doctor.
directly into the brain.
This
Let's try
definitely felt like the original script was probably another case of Geordi
Mondays.
and Data were just doing experiments in engineering, and he got zapped. But then again, the half-naked, coke-smeared producer burst in and screamed to DS9, so it became Julian Bashir's medical gun.
Yeah, we're going to learn pretty soon that I know we haven't had good luck with doctors because McCoy is inept, Bev is a woman, Pulaski was alright, but she's
Wow!
Holy
Really mean.
shit!
I
wasn't,
can't make those jokes. Jake makes them all the time.
No, you can.
But Bashir is the worst doctor of them all.
No, he's a great doctor. He does the most. He probably does the best doctoring.
Yeah,
of
he
anybody.
doesn't cure almost anyone of anything.
He almost.
That's
I mean,
DS.
Yeah.
We won't talk about that.
So, but yeah, the dream thing. Caitlin, you had an amazing comment about it actually online earlier today.
The dream thing?
Yeah.
What did I say?
You don't remember? I was gonna let you say it because you're okay. This is Caitlin's line.
Wait.
everyone.
What did I say?
You went. Wait. So does this garbage definitively prove that androids
don't dream of electric sheep? Yeah, I did say that, didn't I?
Yes, they dream of electric crows.
And black.
Oh no, it was that's right.
I literally forgot that I had said that.
Yeah, it was a good line. I liked
Yeah,
it.
so I found the whole data plot confounding. Like, the only reason I realized what was going on because I've read 3 different synopses of it, and one of them finally says to me, like, he wasn't supposed to have his dream shit activated yet.
Yeah.
The machine zapped him, and he has to deal with it without being ready for it. And I did not get that from the episode.
I did.
Well, congratulations.
I paid attention to
They
the
actually
episode.
come right. He actually says that to Bashir.
I don't listen to when Data talks. I'm just staring at him.
Yeah, so I feel like the big problem with this episode personally is that the episode has Data have something happen to him and then he starts seeing visions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in a better told version of the story, that is something that is not supposed to happen. That's something that is like kind of an unintended consequence of Data's intelligence. And,
Data is exceeding his program. And
exactly.
Like Moriarty did the other week when Rossi was also here.
Yeah.
Wow.
2
weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Same weather though. It's weird.
Well, I mean, it's the winter. What do you want?
Sorry, yeah, it's fair. But instead, this episode, and basically the entire story boils down to this, which we can just say it and kind of move on from it, is that Data had programs that would allow him to dream, but they were deactivated until Noonien soon?
Yeah.
Decided he was ready for having dreams, and then he would activate them. But that didn't happen. Instead, they were activated by accident.
Yep.
And so the episode is Data trying to figure out what these dreams mean and all this stuff. But it turns out that these particular dreams were probably just pre-programmed, and as like an introduction to the fact that he's now allowed to dream.
Yeah.
Which is why he can figure out the bird wing before having seen the bird wing.
Exactly. So unfortunately, the entire episode is Data has something go wrong, but then the super smart person who was in charge of him had implanted stuff, and now it's active.
I did like seeing Soong. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
He was, but he looked fucking weird. Why is he always such a creep?
That's just what Brent Spiner
Because
looks
he's
like.
he's also like a crazy mad scientist.
He is also, yeah.
That's the thing. He affects
he's
a really
lunatic.
cuckoo ball face.
Yeah.
Well,
and
just
it-
in Independence
I find
Day,
it
he basically
disquieting.
played Soon.
I've not seen
Independence
Independence
Day?
Day.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
he was the
Brent
crazy.
Spiner is
He's
in
in
Independence
both.
Day?
Yeah,
I
he's
didn't-
a,
I didn't
he's a
see- I didn't
cuckoo
see the
nut
second
scientist,
one.
but he's got like wavy
Long
shoulder length
hair.
He's
hair.
the
Oh
guy.
my
Have you
God.
seen
It's
Independence
great.
Day?
I have, but I don't remember this.
He's the guy that the alien that is studying the alien at Area 51, and then eventually it strangles him, and
I don't remember
and
any of
talks
this.
through
And
his
he's
voice.
like more daddy.
He actually got a
weird.
whole novel dedicated to his character's origin.
Sweet.
I read it because I was young and stupid.
You're like, Brent Spiner!
I mean, kind of, probably.
Oh, no, wait, that's me and Caitlin.
Yeah, that's true.
Prince
Yeah.
Brian.
Anyway, we also see Captain Spot, who's my favorite Star Trek captain.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, the one part in the dream stuff that I did really like is that when he's on the bridge and he's talking to Soon and figuring out that this is a pre-programmed thing, basically. He's like Spot's here, and then he's like, my potted plant is here, and like those are the most important things in Data's life.
Yeah.
Those are what matter to him.
His,
Those are
his hologram of Yar wasn't there, so therefore...
true. There is that, but it's like, but it was Spot and a potted plant, and like he seemed pretty equally interested.
Yeah, that's true.
This would have been a great opportunity to get Denise Crosby back, though, to give Data a wet
Yeah,
dream.
instead of contriving a
You know what it
fucking
is?
stupid reason for her
Soon-
to come back, like her daughter looks just fucking like her.
Soon most likely programmed it so that the dreams where he's explaining the concept to Data is not a wet dream. Son, could you stop for just two minutes, son?
But the other
Son,
thing, too,
son!
though, is so Data has this ability to dream, but they were pre-programmed like movies. Does that,
I don't know if it's pre-programmed movies. It's just he has a program that allows him to.
yeah, but
like,
but he actually talks to Soon. Like Soon basically
right.
explains
This
it to
first
him.
dream is it's the tutorial. The first dream is like, hey, just so you know, this is what you can expect.
Yeah, I'd imagine
Yeah,
the
but-
others will be a little more
You know
randomized.
that in every single shooter video game, strafing is really big, but in real life, nobody really strafes.
When I move forward and sideways, I don't move any faster. in real life.
No, exactly.
Really, if anything, it moves slower.
People don't think to strafe, I think.
It's just it's an awkward thing to do. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's weird.
Even though it's what keeps you fucking alive.
In the video game.
Well, that and serpentining.
I think sheer luck is all that's keeping me alive, to be honest. Not strafing.
So, yeah, no. But it definitely felt like, this one's too short, this one's too long. Hey, let's have them sort of react.
Nice.
It was nice that for once an A
What are
and
we
B
talking
plot
about?
sort of touched one another.
Eh.
I mean, barely.
I know there was a lot of disappointment that we didn't get any of the data plot in part 2. Like, it's just done in part 1, and then part 2 is
Yeah.
like, it's all Klingons all the time! Do we even see the fucking ship? Who cares?
We don't. Yeah, we don't see it until near the end. I don't think.
Yeah, when the Romulans drop them off. I
All
will
right,
say-
have fun with your friends.
Well, there is a scene in the middle where they're like, "Oh, we should track."
Oh yeah,
guy."
where is he anyway?
Whatever happened to Worf?
Yeah, he disappeared. He was over 12 hours late, and they're like, man, maybe we should find him.
I guess.
This whole
Maybe it was because Worf wasn't on the bridge to be like, someone was 20 minutes late. Where the hell are they?
That's true.
And so everyone was like, man, we can finally relax a little.
It's-
and then they're
it's-
like, we've relaxed too much. This is why we need Worf.
Well, this is what happens when the stage manager doesn't show up to rehearsal.
It seems
The
right.
whole thing that pisses me off most about this episode is so Worf, who goes on this big thing at the beginning with Data, like, your father is important and he's a part of you and you should love him and da 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 da. And then he goes.
You think he was projecting?
He goes to this fucking prison by himself. He fucking basically submits to a death sentence with no knowledge that he's going to get Spartacused, and yet fucking Alexander's just on the ship like, where's my dad? Dad, where did you go?
Was he on the ship at that point?
Somebody
Yep.
posted
Oh,
a
my
good
goodness.
Alexander meme on Star Trek ship posting the other
I
day.
think I might have shared it to the
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I saw that.
to the actual
Because it was
podcast
specifically
page.
about this, wasn't it?
Well,
It
that's
was just about Alexander in general and
Yeah.
how much he just is left to drown.
Yeah.
Well, basically, it's him being like, taking a fistful of shaving cream and being like, I'm going to get Dad in the face when he gets back.
Oh no, that's a different one.
Oh, I didn't see this.
Oh, what one are you talking about?
The one where it's so the meme format is a woman holding a
yeah,
child
yeah,
up
yeah.
in the pool while in the foreground another child looks like they're drowning, and so the mother is labeled Worf. The child she's lifting up says his career and honor, and the drowning child just says Alexander.
Well, pretty much, right? I mean, that's pretty much true because Alexander's never even mentioned.
Nope.
Also, how old is the girl that Worf is banging?
12.
25.
She's under 25.
Oh my God, you're right. Oh God, how old is she?
I mean, she's
Under 25.
I mean,
And how long
well,
did it take before
Under
Romulan
25
I
is
mean, it had to
okay.
be. It had to be
Klingons
before.
got together?
Yeah, exactly. So, like, they clearly wouldn't have been doing it right away unless he's a real horn dog or something.
Yeah, and if they were doing it right away
I don't
before
know why we just
this
fist
became
bumped.
like
Under
okay,
25
they would have
is good.
flushed it out.
Like, it probably took a while before
Under
the
18
Klingons
isn't.
were like, all right, fine, we're okay with
No,
this
it's not.
captivity thing, because I don't imagine that was a quick transition.
Yeah, no, that no.
So she's got to be like early 20s at the latest.
I was gonna say,
hope.
Klingons do
Early,
age
I was gonna
quick.
say, but
They
early
do.
20s is okay because that's like not illegal.
Well, no, I know,
She
but
was
we're-
like 10. It would be
We're
like a
hoping
nah.
she's early 20s.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. That's what I'm saying is like the oldest she could be.
Well, Worf might be like 30. So.
I also thought there was absolutely zero chemistry between her and Worf. Like
Oh,
Worf and
yeah.
Kalar, fucking hot.
Oh, yeah,
you can
smoking.
write porns about that.
She reminded
I
me.
will.
The actress reminded me. I know she wasn't, but she reminded me a lot of the Bobby Hill girl from.
Who watches
Minnetonka.
The Watchers?
Yeah, who
Yeah.
watches The Watchers. Like the quality of
Just
the acting.
the vacant look in the eyes, like
Yeah.
what's going on? I don't
Father.
understand.
One thing from the production of this that I liked is Michael Pillar apparently had watched Malcolm X recently. Like,
Are you gonna say American History X?
yeah, I was
Because
like,
that
that's
would've been
very
that's
different
very
film.
different. No, Malcolm X, and was kind of like, yeah, no, I like that, because we got Worf, and he'll be like, the black dude that's like telling people to be proud to be black.
Oh God.
But then like the episode gets really complicated when it comes to like the racism aspects of
Yeah.
it and like the culture things and
Yeah.
And I'm certain they didn't, ask any actual black people.
yeah, it's
Might have
Not
had-
even Michael Dorn.
I was gonna say they could
might
have asked
had
Michael Dorn.
Any
It's-
historians on this or anything?
it's pretty messy when it comes to the message it's trying to get across.
Yeah, the message is definitely like, I don't know what it was, honestly.
Yeah.
By
yeah,
the
I mean,
end.
it makes Worf almost the bad guy because these people are living peacefully together.
They're very happy.
Yeah, they're happy. Romulans and Klingons getting along, cats and dogs living
together.
Yeah.
Mass hysteria.
Like, this is unthinkable.
Worf, Jay commented in the middle of the episode, like, Worf would not donate blood to a Romulan who was dying, and now he's up down here being like, this might be okay, I guess I'll live here.
Listen,
I'll just teach everybody Klingon Taekwondo, and it'll be fine.
I think
the dick wants what the dick wants.
I think he had his plan all along was to rabble rouse the kids. I think he was hoping that they would just get tired of his bullshit and just let him go, maybe.
So
I think he wanted to free them by like reminding them who they are,
even though they've never known who
which
they
also
are,
completely ignores the fact that people should be allowed to choose who they are.
So I miss how they rationalize the end when all these Klingon kids have been saved and brought aboard the Enterprise.
Crash chip.
There should be records of who these people are.
It was a crashed ship from 4 years ago was the cover story.
Yeah, no, it's...
When we already know the Klingons have pretty advanced technology to figure out what bloodline you're a part of.
Yeah.
Like, it's got pointed ears.
Wow, you're 12 years old.
I don't think she came back. I think she stayed.
No, I think
she stayed?
I think they implied,
Oh, good. Otherwise it would be complicated between her and Worf.
Because Worf would have been like, hey, Alexander, meet your new mom.
She basically said, like, well, with how you reacted to me, I guess I don't have anywhere to be outside of this location.
Right, that's
Thanks.
good.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I mean, she maybe would have been okay on Earth.
She would have been fine in a lot of places.
And like, honestly, she could have gotten surgically altered to look more Klingon.
Or just,
Wow.
I mean, her hair already was doing a fine job.
Yeah.
She was really worried.
I know. I think at the very... Jake can attest to this. Like, at the beginning of the episode, I'm like, Romulans and Klingons living together. Are we going to see any Romulan-Klingon hybrids? And Jake is quiet. And then the whole time I'm like, her ears are covered and her mom's ears are covered. But that was, they matched because they were moms. I'm like, oh, I wonder what's going on with the ears under there. And then we learned she's a hideous, deformed freak.
I was disappointed in the episode that they didn't show more about the cooperation between the Klingons and the Romulans.
Yeah.
But also, if they had shown that being a harmonized society,
they had an episode and a half to do it, and they still failed.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's just kind of like there really wasn't any interactions. There's only one speaking Romulan in the entire thing, and other than that, there's basically no interactions between the Romulans and the Klingons. And it would have been interesting to actually see a society like that was combined and like meshing and gelling together. But then again, that also would have messed up the message, which would have turned the message into Worf is just a total monster, whereas this one it's kind of like this is problematic, but he seems bad.
Yeah, I know they cut a bunch of scenes. I don't know how they had so many scenes to cut when, again, they had an episode and a half to do this fucking plot.
Well, because they had to fit in the data bullshit.
No, they didn't. Like,
that's still an episode and a half.
In Birthright episode 1, nothing happens that couldn't have happened in episode 2 in terms of the Worf story.
Yeah.
I mean, other than... I think, the Shrek stuff probably...
Yeah, but they also cut stuff that would have developed the Worf. How the fuck do you pronounce the girl's name? Bael? Whatever.
Bael.
Their romance. And also, her mother, Giral, would have defended her relationship with her Romulan cohort there when Worf was being particularly racist about it. And I think that could have been nice.
Yeah.
I didn't give a fucking shit about the romance at all.
No.
Well, also, the fact that it was the kid... That the
boy
Twerk.
Yeah.
Sorry, his name is Twerk.
Oh, I'm sorry, Talk. I wrote Twerk like an idiot. Talk.
I didn't give a shit about him.
Yeah, no.
Like
I was convinced Worf was going to kill him.
He should have brought her on the hunt.
If anything, Worf seems wicked manipulative because he takes the naive, incredibly hormonal Klingon kid. And then basically plays into all of these things that Worf knows that Klingons just kind of naturally to overpower any other decision making he may have had.
Yeah.
When he was going on and on and on about the hunt, I was very concerned that they were going to be hunting the most dangerous game.
That would have been great. It's like now finish him, and it's like a Romulan. Then it's just like talk. No, we were supposed to play board games later.
It's just Worf hunting Talk.
Yeah, no, Worf, like I said, this is pretty much, Worf is just some douchebag missionary. These people are perfectly happy, but here he is to shove Klingon down their throats.
Yeah.
It's like, Worf, not everyone wants to be a Klingon as badly as you.
I mean, to play devil's advocate on it, like, he is, like, from his point of view, he's just trying to be like, you have an existing culture that's been denied.
Yeah.
You know, and that plays into some of the really problematic racism stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, are these people forming a meshing culture? Or has their culture been like Romulan washed?
I just think we don't...
and aspects like that, but it's things that are too complicated for this episode and are not handled, although they are kind of played with.
If they showed that the culture had been Romulan washed a bit, like, because really it just seemed like both sides had just been like, let's eschew what we know and just make something new, and that seems to be what happened.
Right, and that's like,
because I don't think
great. That's awesome, but it does seem like, you know, the Romulans don't want the Klingons to actually really know a whole lot about, you know, the Klingon kids to know about like their actual culture.
Well, there's also, I think, you know, because we've talked about this before, is that like the whole Klingon culture is garbage.
Yeah.
Like, it's a bad thing, right? The whole idea, the only
Gowron is rewriting their history.
The only
he's
thing,
an ass.
you know, and we've always said, like, oh, well, maybe there are scientist Klingons and, like, pacifist Klingons, and, like, maybe there's more people. We just always see the warrior class. But based on this episode, it doesn't sound like that's true. It just sounds like, no, you're a Klingon. You gotta be a fucking bloodlusting warrior.
Right.
Yeah.
If the kids were basically educated in what they're like, it's like, this is what the Klingons usually stand for, we choose to stand for something different, then that would have worked great.
Yeah, that's true.
But then Worf would have been a monster.
Yeah. Look at what being, you know, a warlike people got us. You know, we were our parents, your father, you know, there was
it's like your mother and father, like, you know, it's like their families have been warring for literally centuries, and we are choosing something new. We are choosing something.
And you could
different.
even have the Romulan, you know, do some stuff like, well, yeah, we spend all of our time scheming. All we do, all the time. It gets exhausting.
But I guess in a way, not having that makes it more insidious on the Romulans' part, because it really does seem like they've domesticated them to an extent,
right?
In this episode.
Yeah.
But again, that's why it's like it's so problematic dealing with like race relation stuff. It has like so much like human cultural, like, it's like I love the concept, but from like the fiction culture side, but because it's within our actual culture where these issues are brought up and they're not always dealt with very well in our fiction. Like in this case, I don't think it was utilized very well.
No.
You know, it's like, would have been nice if it had been different to be better than it was.
True.
Yeah, and a lot of it, again, like, to me, it just, having not looked up ahead of time, a lot of it did just kind of feel like, we've got these disparate ideas, we'll cram them together and they'll make a two-parter.
We need a Worf episode to keep Michael Dorn happy because he's been bugging us. Which, I mean, all of the actors do that, but...
Well, we haven't had a lot of Klingon stuff for a while now.
But I wish it had been better Klingon.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I love the Klingon stuff. That's some of my favorites.
Yeah.
I do like Worf with the long hair.
Oh, yeah. Now, was this the first episode with the long hair? Because I noticed it.
We'll have seen last week, wink, wink, if that's true.
Yes, no, it definitely suits him much, much better.
Yeah.
Than that fucking
60s
girl band Bob.
I do love the ponytail.
Yeah,
the most honorable of haircuts.
Yeah, it looks way better on him.
It does.
Yeah, I did like when in part 1 when Data goes to Worf to talk about dream quests. I don't know.
Yeah.
But because he'd been talking with Julian Bashir that his hair can grow, my thought was, he's going to Worf to talk about growing his hair out.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on this one?
Meh.
Yeah, I think we can move on.
Yeah. All right.
The clock dictates that we move forward.
I think the clock is just helping to predict reality as opposed to guiding it.
Not gonna lie, I kind of like the clock.
Thank you. You're very welcome. I had to buy supplies for it.
It won't work at all when we do our season wraps.
Yeah, that's going to have to be the exception.
This
to the...
is not for every situation. It does one situation well. But this is not
the normal situation.
Yes.
So next up, we have Starship Mine.
Yeah, this is the one Rossi begged to be a guest on.
I love this episode so much, which is going to be
but
weird.
you have nothing to talk about.
I know.
Featuring John Luke McClane.
Yes. So basically, the Enterprise.
That's good.
The Enterprise is docked at the Bremler array to get some kind of MacGuffin radiation.
No!
straight
Oh
off.
my goodness!
come
Did you
on.
even watch it, Chris?
I did. I forget
It's
the
a
name of the
baryon
MacGuffin.
Alright,
sweep.
it's a baryon
Baryon
sweep, and
sweep.
it's going through the ship in order to sterilize everything.
Yeah,
in
that's
order
what I was
to keep
gonna-
the ship clean.
No, I
So
was
wait,
calling
is
the-
this just code for like sterilizing the fucking holodecks after Reg has been in there? or
Yes.
what?
Yeah.
No, I was getting
The
so no.
idea is
The,
that, like-
no. I wasn't
Oh.
calling the sweep the MacGuffin. The radiation it's sweeping off is the MacGuffin.
It's fine.
So
Yeah,
the
but the radiation. I mean, it makes sense.
It
Like,
does.
Like there would be like buildup. Of
Yeah, so
shit.
it's
That's
built
not
up-
a MacGuffin.
it's built up a bunch of crap.
That's an incorrect usage of the word.
It's going
MacGuffin.
through a car wash.
It's going through a car wash, except this
With
car
the
wash
spaghetti
is
noodles.
made out of deadly energy.
It's a
Rules.
wall of death.
Yes. So everyone has to, evacuate the ship, which
Livingston too, I hope.
I object to the term evacuate, because to me evacuate is like...
An emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was
You
a...
evacuate your bowels.
They had to vacate.
Yeah, this was a planned
When it's an emergency,
disembarking of the whole of the ship's complement. And, they're gonna go just chill out on the planet while it gets the car wash. And they all go down to Commander Hutch's party, and Jean-Luc...
Hutchinson's.
Call me
Call me
Hutch.
Call him Hutch.
They go to Hutch's party, and then Hutch happens to make... Because Hutch is a famous small talker. And,
Annoying as fuck to everybody.
yeah, except Data.
Oh
I've
god,
met
I
worse.
loved it so much.
So...
Yes.
So much.
It's like the Pip episode of Animaniacs. But, they'll get to that later. But,
I don't think we will.
I'll explain it. Anyway, so Picard, the guy, Hutch mentions an offhand way that they have, like, wonderful horseback riding trails. And explain how they
And
have
then
horses.
Picard gets a boner.
Yeah, Picard remembers there was that one episode in, like, season 1 or 2 where he was apparently a rider, so it's brought up
Couple of
again.
times. Come on.
I feel like a lot of that was Picard really just hyping
Yeah.
it up. Like
But he
was-
does actually
and
have a
wanting to
He
get
scene.
does-
fucked
he does-
away
yeah,
from
he
He
does have a-
get to
also.
replicate that.
No, he
I
seemed
feel-
really-
That's
I
why he
always-
really needed
yeah.
to go to the ship. He was like, shit.
No, because here's the thing. I thought that too, but then at the end he seems to really care about getting it recovered.
Yes.
And by then, poor Hutch is dead, so it's not like he has a pretense to keep
Did they
up.
kill Hutch?
Hutch is dead.
killed
No, he's
Hutch.
No,
not.
Jordy wasn't
No.
dead. Why is
Hutch
Hutch
is
dead?
dead.
How did Hutch die?
He was covered in it. He had
A
a
sheet,
he had
yeah.
a sheet over him. You don't put a
Why?
sheet over someone who's
Oh,
just
Two
hurt.
dude,
people were
that's such a
shot with the
bummer.
same gun.
No, I know, I was really depressed.
He
Anyway.
just got shot.
No,
Maybe
no,
it's
no.
just
He
because
got
he's
shot in a more
older.
sensitive place. you
Yeah,
know?
so anyway, so Picard
I
gets
didn't-
Bullshit!
I know, I'm really
This is
upset. I had no
bullshit.
idea that
There's-
Hutch
I'm
actually
so
died.
sorry.
No! Hutch is alive, damn it! Alright.
Don't you die on me, Hutch!
Christ!
Don't
that
you
was
die
one of
on
the
me.
terrorists under that blanket, and you will never tell me otherwise.
Don't get me wrong, I was super bummed out too.
Alright?
And they never talk about him
They
again.
don't! It's some bullshit!
Because they were
Hutchinson's
all
alive.
happy.
Justice for Hutch, anyway.
No, it's because they cut a scene.
Oh, okay. So they, anyway, Picard goes back to the Enterprise to get his saddle and to change. Well, pretty sweet outfit, I'm not gonna lie.
I'll agree with you on this one.
But then he realizes
That looked
something seems weird
I
about
didn't notice.
the people that are on the ship to, like, set it up for the sweep, and he ends up lingering too long, and then Tuvok tries to kill him, and he can't beam off in time. So it becomes this whole Die Hard thing where he has to take out the terrorists.
Terrorist.
Don't call them terrorists.
They're
Right,
not
right.
terrorists.
They don't-
They're capitalists.
Yes.
But that's also
Which is
that's
just
also the
as
plot
bad.
Of Die Hard,
And
yes.
that's also the
Worse.
plot of Die Hard because everyone
Yes.
thinks they have a political message
Right,
at first,
but
but
they
then
actually don't.
they just want money.
Yes. So, he picks people off one by one. Eventually,
Brilliantly.
he finds out what they're doing is trying to basically steal some trilithium waste from the warp core because it can be used to make very volatile bombs, which they can sell to people who have political
No, it's
leanings.
it's very deadly.
That's what he
It's
said.
extremely toxic. No, you said it was
I heard you can
explosive.
turn off a star with it.
Volatile.
But it also is very explosive, remember? Because that's how
It
at the
eventually
end-
does explode.
Yeah.
It's very
Caitlin has
volatile.
something to say.
very...
What?
I want to be clever. It's all like, now I have a phaser. Ho 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 ho.
Ah.
En français.
Yes. So yeah, anyway, it just...
Thanks for the pity laugh, Rossi.
I didn't get it.
So yeah, Picard improvises some weapons and he steals Worf's crossbow, which Worf suddenly has.
What do you think they call a Klingon like crossbow?
Yeah,
That
so
sounds right.
That is the Hawknach.
yeah, and on the
It's a
surface,
pupily.
Hutch's party is taken hostage,
Whoops.
and one of the terrorists is killed, and Hutch goes into a different room for the rest of the episode.
Yes, that's what happened.
Takes a nap.
Definitely
Exactly.
isn't
Yeah.
dead.
He's
Yeah.
out in the stables.
And it's
with his personal saddle.
yeah, waiting for Jean-Luc. And yeah, at the end, like Jean-Luc has
Worst
a
day ever.
fisticuffs fight with the head capitalist or whatever.
Kelsey?
Yeah.
Grammar?
And she beams away, but it turns out he pulled off the stabilizer from her trilithium suitcase and Kerplody. And yeah, it's Die Hard on the Enterprise.
I liked it. Lots.
I love this episode.
Without an
so
owl.
This is a
much.
good one.
It's so fun.
Yeah, it's another kind of popcorn episode, but it's
Yeah.
great.
You know what's wild? This is the same writer as The Inner Light.
Really?
You'd never
That's
fucking
fun.
think because
Oh,
it's
really?
such a different
So,
genre.
what was
Oh, wait, you mean the greatest episode of all time, TM?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Wait. The person that wrote The Inner Light and this also wrote a piece of the action?
I know, it's incredible,
Wow.
isn't it?
Actually, I believe that this and the piece of the action would be from the same writer. But what was your question?
So what was the cutscene?
Oh, they would have said he's dead.
Oh, okay. I thought
Bullshit.
maybe there was a little
He's
more.
dead.
That means
Jim.
he's alive.
Yeah,
A
that's
little
true.
more
They didn't
disgusting.
say it.
Yeah, that means it's not canon. Hutchins is alive.
But do you think they
He is-
announced his death like it was small talk? Like, yeah, oh, did you hear about Hutch? Oh, yeah, shame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lovely weather we're having.
Oh, how's his wife? Oh, okay.
Okay, so the Baryon sweep.
Yes.
So it's my impression of what that was for is that the ship, because they said
In world or as the in the
in world
episode?
in world. So they said that they had to use an extra strong beam because we
Yeah.
had clocked so many hours
Yeah.
of
Because it's
warp.
the Enterprise.
So
because
apparently at
Geordi just
warp-
goes to town.
It's probably when you're at warp. I guess maybe just shit accumulates on all the bits of the ship.
Yeah.
Warp entities.
Yeah, well, it's basically all the bugs. The bugs that are
wouldn't-
smacking off your windshield.
wouldn't the baryons be all over the people too? Because they're on the ship. Wouldn't,
I thought it was a baryon field.
Maybe there's a.
Sonic shower.
There's probably a different process to decontaminate the people.
one that doesn't kill them.
Yes, for example. But yeah, so
Thomas Stone.
they have to
That's
have one
wild.
way to do it. They have one way they have to do it for the ship, another way for the people. I mean, certainly the easiest way is probably just shoot them through a goddamn transporter.
That's true. Can you put the ship through a transporter?
That'd be
Have to be a
big
really
fucking-
big transporter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting premise.
Is it?
The
I'm
one
just kidding, it
one
is.
problem I have with the episode, well, two problems.
They kill
Joe
Hutch.
Piscopo wasn't there.
One, they kill. I mean, they make Hutch go have a nap, and we never see him again.
Yep,
He doesn't
yep.
get a proper send off. And two, my actual problem. Well, the other one's an actual problem too. But anyway, I feel like they try to they have a few moments where it's like they remembered they're writing Star Trek, so they have to have like Picard look sad for all the deaths.
Aw.
Yeah.
But he doesn't actually care.
No.
He kills like 4 people
He kills
at least.
so because he kills like Tuvok.
Well, he nerve
he
pinches
leaves him for
Tuvok
dead.
out.
Well,
He
he
leaves
leaves
him
him-
for dead.
he
Yeah,
leaves
no,
him-
I've got. I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you.
Yeah, I won't
Yeah.
kill you, but I will leave you in a part of the ship unconscious,
He-
knowing full well the field is coming.
He expected the others to save him, then he realized, oh, you're not going to save him. This was my fault. Rats.
Yeah,
I mean, there's also the girl that steps on the little explosives.
yeah, which
Heroes.
neither of them try to drag away from.
Like
the,
she just got wiped
eaten by the field. Yeah,
Yeah.
And Sattler, I think, is another one.
Waldorf.
Yep.
Like the
Sattler
only-
was the first one.
The only
Neil.
one of them whose death Jean-Luc is not directly responsible for is the one that she literally murdered.
That's
Yeah.
Neil.
Yeah,
Good old Neil.
Neil, or as I
Neil,
called him.
consistent, solid, good old
He
Neil.
was the hacker guy from Die Hard.
Yeah,
That helped
I
him
called
open the
him.
safe.
I called him Terrorist Barkley.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
this is what Barkley would have been if he was a terrorist.
Yeah. Yeah. He was
capitalist.
he was a computer hacker that
Capitalist.
opened the
Yeah.
opened the thing.
Yeah, without the cool music.
Yeah. Now it occurs to me though, why did they need weapons at the reception in the first place?
The hostage takers?
Yeah, because here's how I see this go. So why did they even take on? Why would they just be like, all right, we're just gonna be here.
Yeah, there's
we'll
no
We'll
reason.
keep them from leaving or canceling the thing or
Yeah, we all know Hutch is going to talk him to death, so they're going to be stuck here.
They were having a party in the room that controlled everything.
yeah. But here's the thing: if Captain Picard wasn't on the ship,
They'd have never known.
Yeah,
then they would have never had
They
to pull
wouldn't
those
have had
guns.
to
Yeah.
have been taken hostage.
There would have never been hostage. I mean, the only reason there's hostages is because they left the guns in a place Geordi could see them. Like
Blamed it on a heating
they
element.
they could have just like. So honestly, well,
That-
even if Jean-Luc was on the ship, everything would have happened exactly the same, except
Yeah.
Jean-Luc probably would have just died because they probably would have shut off the comm system.
yeah, yeah. No, the plot on the planet was a little like. Plus, you can also tell why they had to have Worf excuse himself from the party
Mhm.
because there's no way he would have just sat there and taken all that.
Yeah.
Because they could have gone through this whole thing,
He'd have been hutched.
this whole plot, without anybody knowing that it had happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I doubt they're keeping track of all of their trilithium resin.
I can imagine them having the weapons in case something went wrong.
Yeah.
But and then Geordi figured it out. And granted, they said like, oh yeah, I bet they were expecting to use these later. Maybe they weren't expecting to use them at all.
Yeah, maybe.
And they just had them and then realized, oh fuck, this man with his visor figured that out.
It's also worth noting that
guy.
nobody on this planet, nobody at the reception, has any idea that there's anything going on up on the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
That's
through
true.
not till the very end.
They don't even know Jean-Luc's up there.
I mean,
they
yeah.
just
They
think
think he's out riding
yeah,
horses.
Senior
horseback
crew
riding.
members will go missing for days at a time on the ship before they do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
typically,
they really aren't very good about it.
In the last episode, they didn't even know Worf had left.
Yeah.
Until Alexander, showed up at school all in a
Unfed.
potato sack.
Yeah. This boy is being neglected.
Oh my god, that was his plan all along.
Yay!
He doesn't even give a shit about Moog. He just needed a good excuse. He was like, hopefully Child Protective Services
Yup.
will take him.
You know what the worst part is? Worf gets himself excused from Hutch's party, but he told Alexander he had to go to Hutch's party.
That's nice.
Like, you know that's what happened.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Father, do you want to go? Oh, I'm sorry. Senior staff have to attend the Hutch.
There must be some pretty cool, must be like a full-on colony or something because there's 1,000
Yeah.
Enterprise crew that just are hanging out.
Yeah, they need something to do.
Yeah, I do know that because of cost, they could not use any extras at the reception, which is why there's only Deanna, Bev, Data, and Geordi and Riker. It's only those 5 fucking guys.
I was so sad the jumpsuit was back.
Yeah, what
It's
the
like I
fuck
thought
was
we'd
that
seen it.
about?
Well, she's not
Weird.
officially on duty, so she can wear her
so
casual
she can wear her
clothes.
fucking dump clothes again?
Yeah.
Couldn't she have put on one of her sexy
I
dresses?
actually, that really threw me off to the
Please.
point where I was like going through episode descriptions because I was like, wait a second, she's not supposed to be wearing that. That was a whole big deal that she has
Yeah.
to wear normal clothes.
Yeah.
And, it's like normal uniforms. And it's like, why is she wearing this thing? And it's
Well,
totally
Picard would let her
confused
do
me.
what she wants to, though.
Yeah, I feel like she could go back to that, but I think maybe she likes wearing the uniform when she's on duty.
Well, she's
Like-
realized, like, oh, I'm less chilly on the bridge now.
Well,
Oh, and people respect me a tiny
She's
bit
also
more.
played with the idea of taking the command classes and stuff.
Yeah,
Is
that-
that
Not yet.
something happened
They
yet?
haven't talked
Oh,
about
okay.
it yet. That doesn't.
Well,
come-
maybe it's
That comes-
foreshadowing.
Yeah.
She likes the uniform.
It comes up
so.
soon.
I delighted in the loop that was Hutch and Data's subroutine.
Oh my god, so good.
That was just first of all, actually no. First let's go back. Data shadowing Hutch and just kind of
See, that
silently
was- yeah,
waving
like,
his
No,
arms. And,
no, I could not. That was a Joe Piscopo.
Yeah, that was amazing.
So good.
I loved
I
it.
liked it.
I loved it.
That
And
was
then
really
they start
fun.
talking, and I was like, this is the best thing ever. They're gonna be best friends. They're gonna be pen pals. You terrorist fucks.
Well, not anymore.
See, here's the thing. I didn't think everyone was going down dreading it. Like Hutch is the most offensive, boring, convoluted man
He does
there
seem
is.
boring.
He was
He's
pretty bad.
boring, but
Everyone
you
I
have to-
know makes bad
He's
small talk,
personable.
though.
You have to talk
He
with
is.
him for maybe 30 seconds before he sees a new thing to talk to
Yeah.
and goes to them.
That's
Yeah.
almost insulting then. It's like, what, I'm not interesting enough for you to talk to me all day? I don't want to talk to you
What
at
does
all.
he know from interesting?
Yeah, jerk.
Yeah, this guy.
It's really silly though.
No,
The-
do you want to talk to someone interesting? I got stories.
the episode? I'll give it credit. It got me invested in Hutch. I
Yeah.
was really bummed. I was like, you motherfuckers. Because plus, you don't introduce a character like that in a Star Trek just to zap him.
Yeah.
Well, I think the idea was, we're going to create an interesting character for them to encounter, and then people will be sad when he gets zapped.
Yeah, no, I was genuinely upset.
Yeah, but
when
then
I saw the
they don't make it clear that he got zapped.
Yeah, so he's probably fine.
Because they don't say it, and then
Well,
they just
you
kind of
never
like
see him
they,
again,
yeah.
They
It's
pan. Well, he could just be unconscious.
Well, he's also
He's
covered in a
chilly.
sheet.
Yeah, he's chilly.
Well, you barely I would have missed the sheet because they panned over it so quick, and then you never see it again.
I think the fact that that Beverly was tending to Geordi and no one seemed to give a shit about Hutch.
he was sleeping. You don't wake up Hutch.
Yeah, he was just
He gets
sleeping.
I think
very
it was
upset.
pretty
Fine.
clear to me that he was dead.
They
I
just
disagree,
didn't. They
but
just
that's
didn't want to tell him. They just didn't want any more small talk out of him.
But yeah, there's an episode of Animaniacs.
They actually smothered him.
I forget what it's called, but there's a character called Pip, and he's voiced by Ben Stein. And this is back before Ben Stein became annoying.
I mean, to be fair, Ben Stein was always a piece of shit, but go
Well,
on.
before we knew
But we
it.
didn't know.
Before we knew.
That's fair.
Um,
Ben
but you
Stein's
are-
money was fun.
It was.
Yes, it was.
But this was around. Might even predate when
Was
Ben
it
Stein's
hosted
mother.
by
Jimmy Kimmel, it sure
He was a co-host, yeah.
Fat Jimmy Kimmel.
They
But,
had great chemistry.
Yeah. But so the Warners have broken into a studio party, but then they come across this guy, Pip, who is just...
Is he a human?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got weird proportions, but he's a human. He's about the same size as a Warner, and his head is enormous. But he just starts... Well, they're different heights. He's about the size of Yakko. So he just starts telling this story, and it's supposed to be simple, but he keeps interrupting himself, and he's got this Ben Stein drone, and they try to escape him, but he's like... Oh, yeah. He, like, has their powers. He can just pop anywhere. It's quite amusing. I like it. And it just, that's, you know, kind of what they were going for, I think, with Hutch, this just sort of tedious fellow you don't want to talk to at a party.
That always finds
Yeah,
me.
but look, did you see all the fucking free food? Everything looks great.
It did.
I would
it did
talk
look
with
like
this guy
quite a
for a
party.
minute
Well,
to
the
have
other thing
those
too is
food.
though, I think the thing is with Hutch too is that his reputation precedes him.
It does.
Because a lot of people don't even know him and they don't want to see him.
Like, Worf knew to back out of the party.
But he's introducing himself to everybody. Like, the
Yeah.
only person he seems to actually know is Picard.
Yep.
Well, he knew Beverly too, right?
Did he?
Yeah, he said he was at the academy.
Oh yeah, he saw her.
Give
when
me
she
your
worked-
updates, bitch.
when she worked at Starfleet Medical.
That's right.
But he didn't know Riker. He didn't know Geordi
Nope.
or Data, obviously.
Though Riker's reputation did precede him.
Yep.
What did he say? Like, shining blue eyes?
Something.
Quite a
Yeah,
ladies'
didn't-
man.
yeah.
I was like, ooh. I mean, whatever.
Hutch might be the first openly gay character on Star Trek.
Which would be fucking awesome.
Well,
Except that they
killed him.
fucking killed him.
Yeah.
Aw.
You know, they tend to do that on Star Trek with gay characters, don't
So one thing about this, changing gears, one thing about this episode I really liked was the very start when they were just doing administrative stuff. Like, I don't know, I really, like...
Oh, and Bev is like, make sure all my fucking tiny algae molecules get beamed
I
off.
don't think that was, like, business the captain should have to worry himself about. But, like, it was pretty cool having all the characters come up and, like, it's like, while they're all trying to get off the ship, they're all got, like, their own little problems and weird things that are popping up, and they're, like, working together to try to fix it and, like, find creative
they? Well, they're really
solutions
just bothering the captain with it.
I know, but like,
I think
but
it
it's
works,
still interesting. Like,
Yeah,
it
it was very interesting. I agree.
and I think it's good for his character because, like, yeah, you're right. It isn't his job, but he figures out whose it should be, and he's like, all right, do this and this and this and this, and it shows that he can deal with a lot of nitty gritty, even though, like a lesser captain, let's say, I don't know, Jellicoe, just to make up a name, would probably be like, I don't have to know this nitty gritty bullshit.
Yeah.
But
Get
a
it
good
done.
captain,
Yeah, I think it might have been very intentional to like remind people that like this guy actually knows the ship inside and out.
Yeah,
And
like,
he knows how to
cares.
delegate.
like it's like, but he also like when he needed to like help Beverly with her samples or whatever that would have been fried, he was like, oh well, talk to engineering, they've got like this kind of stasis unit you could probably use. Like,
yeah.
he wouldn't necessarily have to know what random crap the engineering people have lying around, but like he's down there enough and talks to people.
Yeah, and I think, and sometimes the key is, like, even if you don't know, if you can direct somebody to the person who does, like, that can be just as... It's better than just going, like, I don't know.
Switchboard.
Yeah, and again, I think it makes a very good point about him as a captain.
Right. It often, especially in these episodes, it often seems rare to see someone just being competent at their job because it's usually like really insane stuff going on.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's
very
like
reactionary instead of just being like status quo things. Like, I got a guy for that.
Like, these things are probably like, because obviously, like with any TV show, the episodes are about when shit goes hooey. This is actually 90% of these people's lives is shit like this. I think this is one of the few times where I've read one of the first times since, I think probably the first time since either the motion picture or Star Trek 2. It's probably the motion picture because the ship was in pieces.
Whoa.
But like people are like walking around, there's like just a voice over the intercom being like,
I like that too.
Gotta do this, gotta do that. It's like, it's very like, oh yeah, no, this is like one of the few signs that, this is a goddamn ship with like shit to do. There's someone somewhere doing a PA kind of thing.
It would have been cool to see more of that in other episodes.
Yeah.
I feel like we saw some on yesterday's Enterprise, but that was a different Enterprise.
Yeah,
right.
With very different concerns.
Yeah, but it's just like they don't always have like these kind of like small like moments that would normally be tedious, but because they never show them, they actually are kind of interesting.
Yeah.
What happened to the whales?
They got beamed off.
Yeah.
Where? Is there a tank?
There's a tank.
Sure. There's a tank, and there's a whale version of Hutch.
Or it could...
The whale's just like, oh god, can I be excused? Can I be excused from Commander Shamu's reception?
Oh no.
I imagine whale Hutch is a beluga.
beluga.
So
Yeah,
do
what's
I.
your problem
They
with
wouldn't be
belugas?
No, nothing, but they got big shiny heads like Hutch.
Wow.
Oh, speaking of big shiny
Yikes.
heads, so Picard claims to be Mott the
Yes.
barber.
Yep.
Which I thought was fun.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting because prior to
Well, these
Hutch,
terrorists-
the last time we know that Mott is basically the Enterprise's Hutch in terms of
True.
Oh, that's true.
talking
That's
people's
true.
ears off and
Yeah.
then cutting their ears
Well,
off.
these terrorists also, I don't think they did any of their homework.
No.
because They,
You think they would know the captain of the ship they're stealing?
yeah,
from?
you'd think they'd know that. You'd think, they could have looked up and been like, but Mott the Barber is a Bolian.
She planned this thing for years
Yeah.
and never looked at the captain.
Never thought to look
never,
at...
never.
And we
once.
know there's no such thing as security in Starfleet. Anyone can go on Starfleet Wikipedia and again, it's not even just that, but it's like, he's not just the captain of any old ship. He's the captain of the motherfucking Enterprise.
The flagship.
Well, they have the most trilithium resin lying around.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
sure.
probably on postage stamps, for fuck's sake.
Postage in the future.
I know,
It's all
but
That's
free.
a form of money, you communist.
I was actually
capitalist.
thinking about how it's just fake money today as I was putting 1,000,000 stamps on a letter. Good story.
I think it's just like real money, essentially.
yeah, it's money you've turned into money that, rather than tape money literally onto an envelope, you turn it into tapeable money.
If you did that now, people would just steal the money off the envelope.
Oh,
and
yeah.
your shit would
Yeah.
never get where it was going.
Well, I don't know. I deal with that a lot at work, actually.
With what? People stealing your postage?
No, customers putting just money with the mail and
Really?
the postage.
That
That's
happens?
silly.
Yeah, and then I have to bring it back, get it turned into stamps.
Oh,
give
you
them the
do
change.
that? You can't is that like a thing you can do with
No,
the post
because
office?
we're not being jerks.
Yeah, but I mean, is that an acceptable?
All right, if you're listening to this, don't do this. But
That's what I'm
sometimes
saying.
what customers will
I
do
hate
is
going to buy
they'll
stamps.
just leave they'll leave like a couple bucks like in with like a handful of letters that are not stamped, and then I'll go back to the post office. I'll give it to a clerk. They buy the number of stamps, put it on the letters. I take the change and give it.
You
back.
don't do
you-
that.
But
Wait,
don't
You
do
don't
that.
take the change
Keep
as a
the
chip.
change.
Don't
I
do
take
that.
the-
No, it's not my money. That's theft.
Whose money is it?
It's the
The
customer's
government's
money.
now.
Yeah, because so if somebody gives you like a Christmas card or it gives you money around Christmas time, you don't give it back. So it's just
This is way different.
you give.
Yeah.
The
In my
expecta-
mind, it'd be like you
No.
gave me some
The-
undeliverable mail
No,
and
the
some money. Thank
expectations
you.
and context are very, very
Yeah,
different.
they
I
are.
know.
And,
If
I'm
you
saying
don't like to buy stamps, I'll take your
I'm-
money and buy you stamps.
it's funny.
I do
I'm,
like to buy stamps.
I'm telling our
actually.
audience not to do
I
this.
do
Our
too.
audience is all like our age,
Yeah, don't
so
do
we
that.
don't send mail.
I send mail.
Plenty of people send mail.
Last time I went into the post office, I said, "Can I have a roll of stamps?" And the guy was like, "You know that's 100 stamps, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right."
That's $55.
You know that's a lot of stamps, right?
That's why we have so many stamps.
Every time Jake just needs one, he buys a roll of 100 and
Throw the rest.
keeps forgetting that he has them.
The last
I'm
Please
making a stamp collection.
the last piece of post
100 forever stamp.
I had to send was
A lot of the cute ones are forever stamps nowadays, so.
yeah.
think
But
all-
you know the
all
last
of
You
them.
push those, yeah.
Not all stamps, I don't
You
think.
can still buy like 2-cent stamps.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to
And
sometimes.
55-cent stamps. And you can buy stamps that are for like big envelopes. It's like $2 and change.
Yeah, the last time
I
I
was
sent
using 96-cent stamps.
Chris will never finish this
I won't.
sentence.
Sorry.
It happens all the time.
Actually legit. It's
Oh, I know.
exciting.
Trust me, it happens to me.
But you know,
I
last
just talk
time
over.
last time I had to actually post something was my heating oil bill, and the guy who ran the company retired, so he sold his
Stamps.
portfolio to a new
And his
company
stamps.
who has online bill pay. So that was the only thing I ever needed stamps for, and now I don't.
I'll take them.
That's alright. We still
Oh,
got
I would
love
buy them.
stamps.
I would buy
Wait,
them.
you work for the
still
post
got,
office?
We still got money.
I
Yeah.
had no idea.
Yeah, I've been working there for 4 years.
I had no fucking clue, dude.
I'm going full time in, well, probably by now, actually.
Oh,
when this
nice.
gets
Ooh,
Is
released.
that
Congratulations.
official now?
Mostly, I think.
If you haven't gone full time by now and you're listening to this episode, I'm so sorry.
I'm going to be very
James.
upset. Yep. I'll be very mad.
You'll be
No.
home.
I'll be on
weeping.
another episode talking about how I need to destroy all of civilization.
That sounds
That's
right.
true anyway.
My father's a postman.
So anyway,
I'm sorry.
So
Neither
see.
rain
My
nor
condolences.
snow nor gloom of night will keep me from my wrath.
Yeah, today sucked.
Yeah.
anyway.
So anyway, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
So
Chris.
Picard,
Post aside.
Picard evidently knows the Vulcan neck pinch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although purportedly the writers say he was just doing a carotid artery block, and they didn't intend for it
He
to
knows.
be, to
He
be the
knows
Vulcan
how to
neck
do.
pinch.
He knows how to do
He
that
knows
because he did the
how
mind
Sarah-
meld
yeah,
with
he
Sarah.
learned
But-
and
Sarah.
Spock.
But McCoy was melded with Spock a bunch of times.
He
actually.
tried it, and he
he
failed.
tried it in 3. Granted, 3's terrible.
3.
He tries it in 3 and it doesn't work.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that's because I think Doc took the Hippocratic Oath, which is, first do no harm, second do lots and lots and lots of harm.
Well, I'd also like to think that the nature of what was happening at that moment was that, like, Spock and McCoy were kind of both jangling around in his head.
Hot.
And so it was like,
It is kind of hot.
like, Spock was trying to aim, McCoy was like, what the fuck is going on? Whereas Picard has knowledge he learned via a meld, and only he is in his own head right now. The part, of course, that is funny, for those of you who don't know, is that the guy he neck pinches is played by Tim Russ, who will go on to play a Vulcan
Oh, our audience knows
in
this.
Voyager. Caitlin probably didn't.
I'm not an audience member. I'm a cast member.
Well, I was
you were
trying
like,
to...
I wasn't going to tell you. You're out. James is staying forever.
I
You're
was
now an
trying to
audience.
sort of...
Yay.
I was trying to present it as...
Oh, I mean...
Wow.
I was trying to present it as giving information to the audience so I could just give it to Caitlin.
Yeah, we call that mansplaining.
Well, no, I was trying
No,
to...
it's okay. I didn't know.
No, I was trying to, like... I was trying to make it not look like that. And I was trying to...
Wow, Chris, you fucking pig.
I
How
mean,
dare you?
wait,
Ridiculous.
I'm just trying to... I don't
I'm
know.
just
Go
kidding,
take your
I'm-
red pill and go home.
So how fast? So the Baryon suite's moving pretty slow.
I thought it was moving pretty fast.
But the thing is,
For a ship that size?
but imagine how long it takes to move from engineering, which is in the very bottom of the ship, pretty much.
Yeah, without turbo lift.
Without turbo lifts, through the fucking ladders and crawl spaces. Now remember, the ship is like what, 40 decks high?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I can't remember what deck engineering is on, but 10 forward is on deck 10.
Mhm.
So you're
Appropriate.
probably scaling the equivalent of like at least a 10 or 15 story building on a ladder. That's a lot. And then crawling through a lot of those little tunnels.
Yeah, Jeffrey's
How
tubes and
long
tunnels.
does it really take to climb a ladder?
I don't know.
I mean, presumably over time it takes longer and longer as your arms fucking scream at you.
Also,
You're
it's long
using your
enough
legs,
for
too.
Picard to MacGyver up those that explosive
Yeah.
trap.
And to also break a ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved that.
Yeah,
I
cut
thought that
all
was
the rungs
great.
off it.
The rungs have been broken.
But he probably could have gotten away if he just did like 2 or 3 rungs, but he went
Yeah.
like all the way up with that. He
Jordy is going to be
he was having
pissed.
fun.
Yeah. Like at some point, yeah,
He's
he's
like,
like
breaking the ship is awesome.
Oh, wait, fuck, that's right. The danger is happening.
I'm gonna have to fix this later. I'm gonna have to
Oh,
explain.
no. Jordy, as Aim said, is gonna have to fix that. No, Jordy's gonna make Reg do it.
I love when he started talking to Kelsey. Like this might have been like kind of during that, and he's just kind of messing around with stuff in sickbay.
Yeah.
And he's like combining things and like
Something
making,
explodes.
Yeah, and it's like he puts something like into a dish and it just erupts into flame. He's like, yeah.
This is why Wesley likes doing this kind of shit.
Well, if you're starring in an action film, you might as well get to enjoy it.
Yeah.
He'd taken off like at least a couple layers of clothes at that point.
Yes, he had.
It was impressive how jacked he was. Or at least I was impressed, because there was a point where you could, like, see, like... Actually, I think it was when he was going up one of the ladders. His shirt lifted up in the back, and it was just muscle.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit!
That was a bodysuit they put on.
It was one of those, oh god, you could buy them in like the early 90s, the like wrestler bodysuits for
Nice.
children that gave you fake muscles and shit.
Oh, no. For some reason, you said that, and I thought of, like, Stretch Armstrong, but it's not at all the same
Oh
thing.
man, when he walked into fucking sickbay after the big shootout and all the glasses on the floor and he had to walk across it.
Yeah, that was
that
wild.
amazing.
Harsh.
It's ugh.
Oh god, Glass, that reminds me something I wanted to say.
After Mora the dog had eaten his shoes.
One thing I wanted to say about Worf, which I forgot to last
Birthright.
episode. Birthright. They need to get Klingon proof tables. Back to this episode.
And was it Troy that found him, or was it...
It was! Troy's always walking in on Klingon smashing tables.
Yeah.
By the way, we're back to the green zone.
Yeah, no, we technically
Oh
should
my
have started a new
goodness.
episode by now.
Oh
We-
my goodness.
It's almost like this was a great episode that we really had to discuss for a while.
We
Yeah.
did. Mostly Hutch. We talked
There
about Hutch a
wasn't,
lot.
yeah, there wasn't
Poor
there's not a ton to discuss.
But yeah, no, like you said, Jake, very much like direct one-to-one in a lot of cases of Die Hard. The whole, like, we're not actually terrorists.
It's funny.
We're just...
It's funny because the writers like say it wasn't meant to be a Die Hard
It
spoof. It
makes
was
no
just
sense.
Well,
It was
neither
just
was
gonna
the
be a
Die Hard
I just
movie,
happened
so
to
what a
be. I
coincidence.
happened to
Yeah.
fall asleep watching Die Hard, and then I came up with this episode. But it hadn't really. I don't think it's.
They're not related.
Yeah, no,
What do you
there
mean
is a
you're
long,
suing
convoluted
me?
history to writing of
It's
Die
my favorite.
Hard.
It's my favorite exceptionally blatant ripoff of something else. I think.
I will attempt to find the article.
But you didn't like the Naked Now?
Well, that was
That's a terrible
I mean-
episode.
Yeah, it's
It's
a
got Data banging
problem.
yard.
It's got
It's got one
Yeah,
good
but we don't
thing.
get to see it,
Problematic.
so like, what's the point?
The
Yeah,
point
that-
is your imagination is more filthy than
Erotic.
what could have possibly
If
happened.
my imagination was enough, people wouldn't need porn, dude.
Also, I mean,
put it
honestly,
out
in this
there.
day and age, we got
You're
the
doing it
internet. I'm
wrong.
sure if I just Google,
Apparently.
Don't.
I'm going to use incognito tabs.
We don't have time.
Oh, no, it'll be for off air.
We're out
Yeah,
of
but
time.
you're on my Wi-Fi. Please don't. I don't want my ISP knowing this shit.
I'm now off your Wi-Fi.
All right. Well, anyway, I think we'll just go out while you're doing this horrible thing. All right. So
Stop the Baryon sweep! Stop it!
the Baryon sweep is over, and next week we'll be talking about 2 new episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation. The first is Legions.
Lessons.
Lessons. Learn your lessons.
Legions.
Learn your
Followed
legions.
by
Oh,
What the
Jake is
You've
fuck
been
is happening?
You've been dreading this one since we started TNG.
The chase. Ooh.
You sound like a Looney Tunes character. What is going on?
I actually don't remember what that episode is.
Oh, it's the episode that
No.
ruins-
You gotta save it for next week.
But you won't be here with
That's
us next
fine.
week. Unless you are. We
That's
don't
fine.
know.
You call this a tease.
Oh,
Next
the chase
week.
is coming
Next
up
week.
next week.
The chase.
The chase. The fucking
Jake's
chase.
favorite.
Is he happy or pissed?
Oh, and you get to intro next week, Jake.
Oh, great.
Hey,
Fucking great.
Hey, Jake.
I'm
Jake.
so looking forward to
Hey,
it.
Jake, where can you find you guys?
You can find us online on the internet on
Wow. That online.
Yeah,
our
you know.
website is sshbpodcast.com. You can also catch
Every
up
time.
on our social
Not every
media
time.
Most
A lot of
on
the time.
the internet on Twindler and Tumblr
Yep.
on SSHB podcast @ and then you can find us. Use our.
I love when Rossi is in pain.
Do we have a hashtag?
No.
Should we?
No.
Do we have a hashtag?
Use a. How do we get one?
Hashtag, why the fuck are we watching this?
How do we get a hashtag? We gotta
You
pay
just
for it?
started. No, what?
Is it like a?
You know, you don't. You know, Jake.
Oh,
Don't
thanks,
tell me what
sorry.
I know.
Thanks,
Jake, you
James.
know
I
you-
appreciate that you were here to help
You
me
know
through
you
the
don't.
bullshit. I apologize.
Jake.
I was so confused. I was like, Jesus.
Anyway, use hashtag fuck Rossi.
That's fine. That's fine.
Anyway, you can find us also on Facebook. Just search for Star Trek. And
No.
search for Starship.
If you get laid a lot because we use the hashtag fuck Rossi, by the way,
Let
you're
us
go-
know.
Oh, I will
We're
let
gonna
you
need a
know.
big thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is like a.
absolutely.
This is not. It's not like fuck you. It's like it's a call to action.
Yeah.
Great. That's alarming.
Hashtag consensually fuck Rossi.
Oh my.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. Search Facebook for Star Steer by.
Starship Troopers.
We should do that one on a TV show.
I don't know.
On a TV
It's a good
show.
movie.
It's a Paul Verhoeven. Those are fun.
Who now?
We may or may not have done or will do RoboCop. We'll see.
I am RoboCop. Please.
Insert girder?
Insert girder. That's what I was gonna say.
How far through the outro are you, Jake?
I'm pretty close.
Not very.
Next week we already did that one.
Oh my god.
Find us on iTunes and Google and other podcast zone. And then you can find us on SoundCloud. Search for Star to Steer Her By. That's where you download the shows. There's also an RSS feed somewhere, I think.
That sounds right. There has to be,
no
doesn't
one
there?
uses
Yeah.
RSS anymore.
Every podcast app does, I think.
I'm pretty sure he's
Okay,
right.
anyway.
You might be right.
So do all that, and you can find us and keep
It's
up
not very
with the Joneses on those places. Until next week, my name has been Jake.
This has been Chris.
This has been Ames.
This has been Caitlin.
I've been James Rossi.
The internet has failed me. I tried data X yar. I tried data banging yar. I tried data fucking yar. I tried data yar. I cannot find any fan art of those two fucking.
Are you in DeviantArt?
I was just in Google.
I'll find it.
Well,
Hold
I
on.
mean, there's gonna
It's
be
out there.
stories.
Like, I got
They
stuff
took it
of, like-
Trouble R.
I saw like data and Geordi making eyes at each other. I saw Data and Picard making eyes at each other. The one thing I can't find fan art of is a canon coupling. What the fuck?
Well, here's a picture with Tasha Yar's
seen this
hologram
one.
with Spot.
Yeah, I shared that on the Facebook once.
Oh, well, fine.
It's very
All
sweet.
right, anyway, we gotta get
sorry.
rid of this thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers!
Woo!
Yay!
Yay!